Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. Old school GameSnub here with a reaction video to the Diablo 4 Sorcerer trailer, as it were. I've never done a reaction video before, but hey, this seems like a super lazy way to make video, and I am all for that. Lazy videos, make the money, get the clicks, you know, I like it, it's good stuff. But actually, I do have some thoughts on this. Alright, let's watch this very short trailer, and I'm going to let you know, basically one of my major areas of, I don't even say concern with the game. It's not a concern when you're not really worried about what the game does. You don't really care about the game. But let's just, it'll make sense once we get into this. I'll explain in just a moment. So here we go. Let's watch it. Okay, so kicking, alright, second number one. Alright, I gotta say, and maybe there's those of you who like this kind of graphic and effect. To me it seems weird. The frozen effect looks weird. The color looks weirdly blue. I remember an interesting little discussion about the color of ice for Diablo Resurrected, and the Diablo 2 community was like, no, the ice looks too weirdly blue. It must be a slightly different shade of blue. Not that Diablo 2 fans are obsessive or perfection oriented about the game they love or anything like that. Ha ha. But, you know, this looks like a weird color of ice to me, but the main thing that I see here is a weirdly out of place looking spell effect. When you look at the background and even the character, and the spell effect looks weirdly from a different game. It looks like it's from a different, more cartoony game. And that's going to be a major gripe that I have with what we're about to see here. Let's watch that one more time. It looks weird. It looks weird. It looks weirdly cartoony. It looks... Yeah, and let's watch a little bit further on. Yeah. I don't love the character models either. There's something that looks like Character Creator 3 or Character Creator 4 sort of, it's got that CC4 sort of character vibe to it. They're okay, but I don't love the art style on the character faces. This is not bad, but it's also kind of got a almost mechanical 3D sort of look to it. Not mechanical as in mechanical like robotic, but sort of like mechanical perfection. I don't know if that's quite the right way of saying it. It just looks like there's lacking in a sort of desired aesthetic, and this is actually something you see in a lot of games. It's just the way the models are created. They have a certain realism. They have like features that are well defined and probably articulated eyebrows and all that sort of stuff, but it has a weird sort of art style to it, or a lacking of an art style to it, I think you might say. It's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. It's fine, but I don't love it. The Sorcerer, no, yes, there we go, Sorceress, or whatever, whatever. The flame effect, again, is kind of a weird looking, from a different game looking flame effect. Background, like everybody, whoever, you know what's really funny is everybody who ever reviews a Diablo 4 video or makes a Diablo 4 game always leads with, boy, the environment visuals sure look good. It's like you know you want to pad your commentary with something that's a positive before you start ripping into it. It's like I've seen that from basically every content creator that's made a video on Diablo 4. It's like, well, the landscape sure looks good, but wow, let's get into tearing it apart. Anyway, the Sorceress, whatever. And again, looking at the fire effects, they look like they're from a different game. They look like they're from a mobile. They might be from a mobile game. They might be from like Diablo Immortal or something like that. I don't know. They probably are. Why wouldn't they reuse the same assets? They probably did. That's probably why it looks peculiar. And again, you see this, again, this is another one. See, you're calling down a meteor, right, from the sky. And I see this also with other games too. They're all kind of doing these stylized visual effects that don't fit. Like look at how realistic and gritty and nice all of that is. And then you have this weirdly cartoony looking visual effect when you could have like fire and smoke and rubble, and I mean, I guess you do have a little bit of rubble, but it also looks kind of cartoony. It's like cartoony rubble. Let's watch that one more time. And again, it's these weird little swishing effects and whatever these are supposed to be. They look like they're from a different game. It's weird. It's weirdly off-putting. And for me, here's the thing. For me, the visual component as well as the sound component are the major parts that make make gameplay visceral, right? Like if you see those big booms, like those nice looking smoky, like substantial explosions, you feel it a lot more, right? You feel that more but when you see this cartoony little pluff, you don't really feel anything. I don't feel anything. I feel disappointed. But let's watch that again. Weird little pliff, right? That was that meteor, or that little pliff was meteor? I want to watch that one more time. What the hell? What is that? Come on. Yeah. Okay. Let's watch a little bit more. The teleport effect looked pretty cool. Yeah. Lightning effect is not the worst, but again, doesn't look like it belongs quite to the environment. Yeah, another one of my issues, and you don't really see it here, is and you see this with so many games as well lately. It's like there's no momentum to movement. It's like you're still or you're full speed. You're still or you're full speed. There's no like transition to moving and turning and like any sort of like time delay that goes into the physicality of having a virtual body within a game. It's just like plip, plip, plip. And you can't really see it in this example, but I've seen it in other well, I've played it. I played the pre-alpha or whatever it was, the closed beta is what it was. And another one of my gripes, I will tell you, is that you can run through every monster and every NPC. There's no collision boxes, which to me is a huge mistake tactically. Like in terms of tactics of gameplay, physical substantial presence is a huge component to tactics and gameplay. When you can run through everything, and nothing's substantial, everything's just a damage calculator. It might as well just be a damage calculator because there's no I mean, I guess there would be some positioning, but you can't back yourself into a corner or get trapped or worry about your spatial or maybe block off a certain avenue so that more things don't come through. I don't know if monsters can run through each other or not, but I know players can. And that's honestly like a huge cheat, right? If you can run through anything to get away and you can't get cornered or blocked off, it removes like a lot of the worry that maybe you have in terms of like what your positioning is and not getting backed into a corner and not like running into a room that you can't get out of, and being careful about your character's like positioning, right? Like if you can just plow through everything, it doesn't matter because there's no substantial presence. Well, it just removes a large tactical part of combat gameplay. And if this game's all about combat gameplay, so why would any developer in their right mind remove such an important part of tactical gameplay? Now, you might say it's because it makes multiplayer easier. It makes, not having collisions of characters, it makes that easier. Collisions are maybe a little bit clunky to calculate, but there are plenty of games. Diablo 2 Resurrected. Diablo 2 from 20 frickin' years ago has collision. So this is far from an impossible hurdle. But you see Blizzard in particular that is supremely guilty of this sin. This is a sin in my book. In my book, if a game has a run-through character dynamics, I will not play that game. That is enough to turn me off of a game, because the creator who made that game where you can just run through any player or like any monster or whatever doesn't care about physical presence within a game. And if they don't care about that, chances are they don't care about a whole other slew of like really important gameplay mechanics. So that actually is like a sin in my gameplay book. If that a game has that, that is alone enough for me to not want to play that game. I might be being a little bit harsh, but that is just my taste and preference. So that might not bother all of you as much. World of Warcraft is such a... Take World of Warcraft like dungeon raids, for example, where you have like a 40-man raid or a 20-man raid. I forget what the numbers were. And you have like your one boss monster, right? And all of the players are just like standing right on top of each other, swinging they're doing their DPS calculator, right? They're like playing DPS calculator. There's no like, okay, this boss is this big and you have to surround it. We can't all fit in the same place. We all just like pile on top of each other and DPS calculator it to death. Like, that's just massively off-putting. For me, it's just like it's like I don't feel the reality of the game if everybody just like stands on each other. I hate it. I hate it. It's terrible. I'm gonna stop ranting about that. Let's watch a little bit more. Now, I thought that looked kind of weird. I like ragdoll physics, but I didn't think that the lightning effect was the right spell to create ragdoll physics. I feel like lightning... Anyway, that's I guess a minor gripe, but the lightning looks okay. The little lightning balls, again, have that cartoony look to them. It's cool that the entire sorceress's body lights up with lightning. Now, I feel like some of the animations and ideas that the developers of this game have would be actually really, really, really cool if they accompanied those ideas with the right visuals. You know, like the right VFX to go with the world around, number one. Also creating a visual effect that has like meaty substance. Because, you know, like the movements and the the animations and the way things are done look actually really... I'll give credit where credit is due, and those components look really cool. It's just too bad that those dramatic movements create this cartoony looking visual effect. It's like you have this super cool lead up, and then you have like this little pliffy visual result. Is it too late to entirely overhaul the graphical effects of a game? But hey, maybe some of you guys like that sort of cartoony look. I guess the developers definitely did. And I am also a fan of that sort of cartoony look, but in a game world which is full of that same type of graphic. Like if you want to do that type of game. I wouldn't do that type of game for like a game largely involving lots of magic, because magic effects just look way too cool when done with like really like realistic looking visual effects. They just look way too cool. Like why would you not want to have that? I don't know. And I think that was the Blizzard spell. Again, it just looks so weak and insubstantial. Like Diablo 2 Resurrected Blizzard looks way better than this. It just looks so weak and insubstantial. Yeah. And the Hydra looks so bad. Look at the fireballs. Like, it looks like a mobile game. You know, the world around looks awesome. The characters are fine. The character models are fine. The animations are cool. The visual effects on magic, oh my god, so off-putting. Like, the Hydras look terrible. They just look so bad. The little Hydra explosion looked okay. Let's see that again. That looked okay. Actually, that looked pretty cool. The little explosion of flat-looking flame. That looked okay. But the fireballs look very bad. And this weird little snake thing, again, really kind of illustrates the cartoon. Maybe, you know what? I bet you they're trying to gear this game more towards like kid-friendly play. So they're making like some of the blood and some of the guts and some of the, you know, there's your realistic gritty looking world, but like the characters and stuff are cartoony. So they have like more PG appeal. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's one explanation.
reveal the agony you see.
Yeah. I mean, the wardrobe and the clothing and all that looks cool. Yeah. That's what I got, you guys. That's my take on the Sorceress trailer. I have feedback. Number one, Diablo 4 devs, and I'm sure you don't care about my opinion, but if you did, suggestion would be, number one, don't make it possible to run through everything, give everything hitboxes. Number two, overhaul the entire visual effects on the entire magic system. Number three, add momentum to character movement. Don't just have like full speed forward, full speed back without any turning or without any like delay in movement around. If you could accomplish those sort of three physical things, it would be in a way better spot in my book. Again, I'm sure you don't care about my opinion, but those would be significant. Those, if you did those things, I would try this game. Well, like I said, I have tried this game. I tried the closed beta. If you did those things, I would buy this game, and I would give it a good, serious try if you did those things. Yeah. Otherwise, as far as skills and inventory and leveling up and progression and all that stuff, I don't know. I don't know how that is, because it doesn't matter to me, because the core physics of the game aren't appealing to me. And that's what you're doing mostly is playing, running around, killing monsters. So that part has to feel really good, or else I don't care about the rest. So I haven't looked deeply into it, so I'm not going to comment on it. But from what I've seen of other videos, it's needs some work too. Okay. See you guys later.